Assalamu alaikum dear students, hope you will be fine and enjoying good health. I am here with the topic poets of early Victorian period. Victorian period already refers to you the name of Queen Victoria, yes, and early Victorian period also refers the duration of her reign from 1837 to 1901, and same as we know the Victorian period comprises from 1832 to 1900. Due to its long duration, it is divided into two parts. The first one is the early and second one is the later. And today we will discuss only the poets of early Victorian period. Okay, the major are the three one: Tennyson, Alfred Tennyson, Robert Browning, and Matthew Arnold. And later on, the other poets are also there, in which we know that John Clare, Thomas Love Peacock, Walter Savage Landor, and Thomas Hood. They also worked, but their work was not so remarkable, so they can get fame. But they did work. Next one, the 1820s, telling you the end year of the Romanticism, that can be referred with the death of John Keats. Next one is the Tennyson first important work is in 1833. It is they are talking about the work of his work of poems, in which in 1832 or 1833 it is first published, and his second volume is also published in 1842. So here we can say that the Tennyson is the most remarkable personality of that time, of the early Victorian period. Next one is the Browning. Robert Browning was also came on the same time with the appearance of his work Dramatic Lyrics, in which he has given a new style of the dramatic monologue. And next one is the Paracelsus and Sordello, was also published at that time. And later on, the Matthew Arnold also worked in the same era. So we can say that all these writers, all these poets worked for the faith. They work on the moral issues, they work on the social issues of their time. They have given the family concept also there. They respect the contemporaries, and they also want the respect in response. Next we will discuss the characteristic of early Victorian period, in which we can say that the first one, the Tennyson and Browning, they were favoring the Romanticism, the imagination, and they are sporting this age, they are sporting the spirit. But later on, actually they were the revolutionary fervor, they are talking about the impression of the French Revolution as well, and they are talking about the first bill, reform bill, that was passed in the 1832, having the mixed impression on the society, on the background or the social and political level, and therefore they are talking about that there is a mixture of the both one, Romanticism and classicism. But overall, as this is the next one, very next age from after Romantic age, so we can say that they were having some impression of that age. Yes, there is also the science, technology, inventions were also, the discoveries were also made in the same era. So we can overall say that the faith is the major characteristic of the early Victorian, and whereas the doubt and skepticism and the questioning is the next one of the characteristic of the later Victorian. So in this age, early poets and the writers and the dramatists and novelists, they work on the faith. Okay, now we will discuss the Alfred Tennyson in detail. Alfred Tennyson is the most representative poet of that time, in which we can say that with the intellectual and spiritual life of the time. His poetry is having the style, having the expressions of the spiritual and intellectual life also. And next, with the student of science and philosophy, he was also deeply impressed by the new discoveries and speculations that were happening at that time. And therefore we can also say that the orthodox religion was also having performing his action at that time. So therefore the Darwin's theory of evolution was also came into being. Struggle for the existence, that was the vision of the Darwin's theory. And here we can say that the Alfred Tennyson was having the conflict between science and religion, yes, doubt and faith, and materialism and spirituality. That we are talking about the characteristic of early and later Victorian period. So we can say that there is a war among the science and religion. Doubt and faith, both are the opposite one, and materialism and spiritualism, that both are the opposite to each other. These two voices of the Victorian age are the perpetually heard in the Tennyson work. In the next one we have the Tennyson work, the Memoriam. Memoriam is also his work, in which there is a conflict among the faith and doubt. Yes, please keep in your mind that these two terms are totally opposite to each other. If one is having the faith, he could not have the doubt in himself. But same as we are in the same age, we are confused person due to same, because we at to some extent we want to be spiritualism, but we are the materialism also. We want to have faith in Allah or in our religion or in ourselves, but at the same time we are also confused person. We know about the religious practice, but at the same time we also prefer the science discoveries and inventions. So we can say, with the passage of time, as there is a technology and science is making more discoveries, there is a problem to some extent. We don't know to whom we have to believe, or we have to trust. Okay, next one we will discuss the work of Tennyson, in which we first one is the Memoriam. Memoriam is the first work, that is famous work, not the first one but his famous work, and in which he has taken the theme of faith and doubt. Okay ji, here are the works that is already in the bold words. Locksley Hall in 1842. There is a theme of the science, commerce and progress of mankind. 60 years after is also the second work. His poetry work, in which also they are talking about the foundation of the religion and against the commerce and industry, the princes, in which the important problem of the day, the higher education of the women and their place in the fast changing conditions of the modern society. In Maud, the next one is the Maud. He gave the expressions to the patriotic passion, and in next one is the Idylls of the King, the medieval machinery, in which we can say that he is changing his modes with the passage of time and giving and the different themes in front of us. Okay, the style of the Tennyson, we can say that he has used different themes, a variety of different topics. So it is showing its personality and showing having the different modes, and he changed his work from time to time. So we can say that he was a poet of law and order as well as of the progress. He was a great admirer of English traditions, and though we can say in divine the evolution of things. So in the last paragraph we can say that during his lifetime he was considered, that is very much important, that he was considered as a poet of the greatest poet of his age. But after his death, the reaction started, mean the critics started, and they criticize him that he is not a much high, the poet of the high rank. So with the passage of time, Tennyson's poetry regained its lost position, and after many years later, he was also skewed and known as a famous or greatest poet of the age. So there is, you may say that, the variations. Okay, next one we will discuss Robert Browning, and in which we say that actually why the Robert Browning get fame. First one, due to his the new style, monologue or dialogue style he has given. He studied for the human soul, and he also discussed to some extent, you may say, the spiritualism. He touched the spirit of spiritualism, and therefore he was the favorite one of that time. First poem is a Pauline, that is a monologue, and in which what happens, a autobiographical story, and in which a personal confession under a thin dramatic discourse is written. So we can say it grabs the attention of the people. And next one, the Paracelsus, in which also the different four characters were there, and showing the incidents, the development of soul is there, a physician, and different, you may say that the for this purpose he discards emotion and love and fails on account of his mistake. Mean they are talking about the emotionally and psychologically, that how we do work actually. Next one is the Sordello, is again the study of soul, and in which we can say it narrates the heroic versus the life of little known Italian poet. Next one is the Paper Passes, in which the Browning produced a drama partially lyrical and consisting of the isolated scene. Mean all the works that he did, it's giving a concept of spiritualism, or you can say that the soul, human soul, was discussed deeply and minutely over here. And later on, you may say that there are different volumes were also published by Robert Browning. Okay, in the next one we will make the comparison among the style of Robert Browning and Alfred Tennyson. Why we will do this comparison? This is important one when we have two major or three major or many contemporaries of the same time, and they did that remarkable work. It is important to compare each other, the style, the work, and their themes. So in the first one we can say that the Browning was not considered as a poet as Tennyson. Mean we can say that Tennyson was having a high value rather than the Browning. But later on we can say the account of his depth and originality of thoughts is ranked superior to Tennyson. Okay, there is a contradiction. Next one, they are saying the Browning and Tennyson were almost the parallel, but what happened, Tennyson is first the artist and then the teacher. First the artist and then the teacher. And but the Browning, the message is always important thing, and he is careless in the expression. We may say that he is not a teacher or is not good in expressions, but his message is always moral and having the more effect on the mind, human mind. Third one is the subjects, mean that Tennyson's style is mostly dainty and comely, whereas the Browning deals with the rough and ugly styles. And we can say he aims to show the truth lies hidden in both the evil and good. When we talk about the soul, so definitely we may say there is a good or bad elements both. Next one is this respective messages. The two poets differed widely. The reflection on the older age, we can say the beliefs and the different styles, we can say. So in the last one we can say that the Browning having the optimism, whereas the Tennyson poetry betrays the weakness and pessimism. So in one word you may conclude that the Browning is the optimistic person, or his work is giving the optimism, and second one, Tennyson work is to some extent you may say the pessimism, because there's you may say that their themes that were chosen by them is depicting this. And last one, Tennyson's genius is mainly lyrical, whereas the Browning is predominantly dramatic. This is also a great variation in the style. Okay, next we will discuss about the style of Browning, that is obscurity, in which we can say that obscure, subtle, that language cannot express is perfectly. Being interested in the study of individual soul, never exactly alike in any two men. So we can say, to understand his poems, and the reader has always to be mentally alert, otherwise he fails to understand his fine shades of the psychological study. So this is also we discussed earlier, that his style is to some extent weak as compared to the Tennyson. But on the other hand, we can say that due to his value of the work, he is kept superior than the Tennyson. Okay ji, this is all from my side. Thank you class, stay blessed. Allah Hafiz. We will come with the next topic inshallah.